This video is sponsored by Phoenix Pharos cards. If you need supplies of singles or splits for Cardfight Vanguard, especially the ones in the video, do check out Phoenix Pharos cards today, and as a bonus, use the promo code MAIDN to get an amazing 5% discount. And with that being said, let's get on with the video. Greetings YouTube, welcome back to the MAIDN channel. I'm Marcus, bringing you another video for Cardfight Vanguard Willdress. In this video, we'll be going through the other mass unit for Stoicheia, following Zorga, that is. We actually have one of the 3 new starter decks, which surprisingly is getting a mass unit, and that unit is Lianorn. It's actually not a surprise that Lianorn actually gets a mass. There's a minor change, but it actually kind of revamps how the whole deck functions. Without further ado, let's take a look at what Lianorn will be getting in DBT10. First off, of course, is Lianorn herself, Servitude of Funeral Processions, Lianorn Masques. So the first skill is basically like a restriction, like all mass unit, you cannot put this into the right deck. I mean, you need to write it on top of a grade 3 Lianorn. So moving forward, I will not repeating this skill. I mean, it's basically common knowledge that you can't really put this in the right deck. Active Vanguard once per turn. Cost: remove a card with Lianorn in its different card name from this unit from your hand, soul, or drop. Choose a grade 1 or less card from your drop, call it to rearguard circle, choose one of your opponent's rearguard and retire it. Third skill, auto Vanguard circle. When this unit attacks, choose up to 3 of your back row stand rearguards with boost and boost this unit with them. If you boosted this unit with 3 or more units at the end of that battle, cost counterblast 1, choose 2 of your rearguards and stand them. So instead of you counterblast 1 to draw 1 and superior call like the normal Lianorn does, this mass unit will require you to remove a Lianorn that is not a mass out of the game so that you are able to superior call a grade 1 or less card from your drop zone, as well as retire the opponent. You don't really get this kind of skill on the normal Lianorn. You are able to board snipe, which in itself is really good in today's meta, and it also basically just revives your grade 1, which is essential for Lianorn to actually activate her full skill. The biggest difference between the normal Lianorn and this mass unit is that the normal Lianorn has the triple drive, whereas this card is only a twin drive in a sense, but you don't really have to discard in order to, you know, get that triple drive. So it's both a good and bad, depends on how you look at it, because you need to discard 1 for the triple drive. In some cases, you can't really decide what to throw because most of your hand is like really good for certain scenarios. You don't need to discard as part of the cost for you to, you know, activate the whole skill. So it's probably a nerf, but then again, you take what you can, I guess. This card basically guaranteed you to have 5 attacks at the minimum, kind of like Bruce in a sense, because you're able to stand 2 of your rear guards. It does not really says you need to stand the front row or the back row. So if you of course want to have like more attacks, you can just restand the front row, or you can just go the normal Lianorn route, which is attack with the Vanguard, activate skill, boost all 3, and then restand the left and right back row rear guard to attack again, which is what the normal Lianorn has been doing. The only difference here is that your center column does not have triple drive, which is probably the main selling point of Lianorn, the normal Lianorn. For mass, it's basically more attacks than, you know, Vanguard triple drive pressure. I mean, Lianorn at the moment is hitting like a truck already, so giving it more attacks is just gonna be very disgusting. Now keep in mind here is that if you do want to basically attack more times, it means that your 4th and 5th attack is not going to have a lot of power, because in terms of Lianorn, most of your boosters are the one that is gaining a lot of power. So in order to attack for 5 times, you will need to sacrifice the booster, unless of course there are grade 1s that actually could restand, but at the cost of 2 soul blasts, which basically tells you that Lianorn Masques is able to attack beyond the 5 attack. I mean, you can make a 6 attack thanks Resonance Dragon, I think this is what this card is, as well as this grade 1. The whole combo here is basically having at least 4 souls, and then you just, you know, after you boost with the grade 1, you pay 2 soul blasts to restand to help boost the front row that is already attacked. So the grade 3 dragon could restand, but you will need to boost a total of 5 times. 3 times from Lianorn Masques skill, and then 2 times from their own restanding skill, which they will probably be boosting anyway. So I foresaw that this might not be very consistent, because you do need quite a bit of key pieces for this whole deck to work. I mean, at most you will need 1 grade 3 and 2 grade 1s, which the grade 1 is actually very easy to revive thanks to Lianorn reviving stuff. So it could work, but in a real life scenario, it's not really that feasible. possible, if you ask me, because the whole right line of Lianorn takes away quite a bit of soul, so you will need to basically spend more resources to get more resources. So yeah, but it is possible to attack 6 times for Lianorn, which is probably going to be stupid. But judging from the fact that you do need to run quite a bit of support in order to even make this consistent, is it going to be worth it? Only time will tell. But most probably it is going to be worth it because this is stupid. So yeah, that's basically Lianorn Masques. There's not really much change to what Lianorn does. It basically gives it a superior call from the drop zone instead of drawing and then calling from the hand, as well as a board retire, which could sometimes be very, very crucial, as well as giving a 5 attack minimum. The normal Lianorn only can attack up to 3 times. I mean, you can go up to 4 with the Resonance Dragon, but this can make that extra 1 more attack and even could go further beyond and make a 6 attack, which is quite scary on itself. If you are a Lianorn player, I guess it's without a doubt you have to get this card. It's really, really good. Next up, we have Spouting Intimacy Amlia. Continuous Regar Circle. During your turn, if your Vanguard is Servitude of Funeral Procession Lianorn Masques, this unit gets 5k power. And Auto Regar Circle. At the end of the battle, your Vanguard attacks, Soul Blast 1, retire this unit, and countercharge 1. I mean, immediately they give this whole deck like a countercharge 1, which is probably gonna tell you that this deck does use quite a bit of counterblast. I mean, with stuff that basically superior calls from the drop zone, those cards basically does cost you counterblast, as well as, you know, the normal Lianorn does use counterblast. The Masques even use 1 counterblast, so every bit of countercharge is always a win. This is a 13k booster as a bonus. What this means is that Lianorn Masques skill is technically free with this card, because since you are able to revive this card from the drop zone anyway, so doesn't really matter if this card is retiring itself. The only limiting factor here is the soul. Like I mentioned before, if you want to make a 6 attack out of this new Lianorn, you will need at least 4 souls. This is without taking into account any other card skills that basically use soul, so do keep that in mind. Next up, we have Love Binding Maidn Margaret. This is basically the generic on this card for the right phase to activate certain skills. I mean, each and every nation has this kind of card. The main difference is the second skill. Although when this unit is placed on Regar Circle, if your personal road this turn, cost counterblast 1, and your opponent cannot intercept until the end of turn, all of your opponent's front row rearguards cannot stand during the next stand phase. This card is actually very different from the other 4 nations. Instead of getting pluses like the other nations has been getting for this kind of skill, this card actually hard controls your opponent. This card basically denies whatever intercept the opponent may have, especially against Eva players, as well as, you know, Bruce itself. They do have cards that basically could intercept, as well as having the 10k shield value. This card could basically shut those 2 cards down, and not only that, it actually goes even further beyond as to basically stun the front row rearguards so that they are not able to restand. So this does basically control the opponent's front row, because not only does the opponent front row rearguards could not stand during their next stand phase, they could not even intercept it away. The only thing that the opponent could do is to basically replace whatever is being stunned by this, or move the rested rearguard back to the back row, which will then sacrifice their booster. This card is going to be insane in terms of, you know, controlling the opponent. The personal right restriction isn't really that bad considering what this skill is doing. It's literally insane, but you have to understand what your whole deck is trying to move, because this card does not really pluses you anything. It does not superior cost stuff. It does not do anything. Most of the time it's just to control the opponent. So if you want to play this card inside any Stoicheia decks, you need to ask yourself whether or not is it worth it to sacrifice consistency or card advantage or any other utilities for a hard control opponent's card. This card is literally different than the other similar cards that we talked about. So personally speaking, I like this card, but I am not too sure whether or not you should be running this in any deck in Stoicheia. Very, very nice card, and it is very challenging for all the deck builders out there. Next up, we have Deadly Silence Hunter Lepardia. Auto Regar Circle. When this unit boosts, if this unit is on a Regar Circle with a Dragon Tree marker, choose one of your front row rearguards and it gets 5k power until the end of turn. So, I mean, this is basically like more Griffo Gila, the Great Hand support, as well as mass unit. Since the Dragon Tree marker also works if your Vanguard is mass, Mask, so it's not a bad card to run. This is basically a 13k booster thanks to the Dragon Tree marker giving it the 5k, while also providing a small power boost to whatever is in your front row. And since you are able to re-stand your rear guards, the 5k power boost is actually very nice. On top of that, if you manage to boost with this unit twice, you're able to give a total of 10k to one of your units, or you can just give 5k to the left and 5k to the right. It's not once per turn. It's really nice. So every bit of power is deeply appreciated. I mean, I don't think power is a limiting factor for Lianorn. Lianorn at this moment is hitting like a truck already, even without the mass unit. So yeah, no one is gonna say no to free power. Next, we have Ascertain Dragon. Continuous rearguard circle. During your turn, if this unit is on a rearguard with a Dragon Tree marker, this unit gets boost and a 5k power. I think this is probably just like a emergency booster should you really need it. At the moment, you have a lot of great ones in Lianorn deck. This card, not only does it gains a boost when this card is on a Dragon Tree, it also gets a power, which means that this is a 23k booster, which in turn means a bigger Lianorn Masques attack. The only issue here is that with so many cards that you absolutely need to run in a Masques deck, do you really want to sacrifice some of the more important stuff for this kind of skill? Maybe. I can't really say for certain because I find this card to be quite useful in like a very niche situation. One is still really good since you are able to superior call from the drop zone quite reliably, although you can't really superior call this card with Lianorn Masques because she is restricted to grade 1 and below. It is a nice card to be run, but of course, deck space issues. And that is all for this video. Do let me know down in the comment section on what do you think of Lianorn Masques. For me, it's basically a fun way to basically revamp the whole Lianorn because Lianorn isn't really doing well in today's meta. It's good, just not S tier good. Do like and subscribe if you like this video, and of course, during the bell notification icon so that you don't miss a video I upload. With that being said, I'll see you all on the field.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.